Hello, welcome to BibleTalk episode 29, where hopefully the game doesn't end after 3 minutes, like my last one just did. Yevon 4, kill, I'll take that. But yeah, I've been thinking a little bit about the meaning of life and how just what it is. Because I think I know what it is, but I'm just trying to think of what other people might think it is, if that weirdly makes sense, because like you have, I think the meaning of life is to live a life that worships God. And yes, it's very vague. Ew, dirty little creature. That's right, get rid of him. Yeah, is a life is to worship God. Live a life that worships God. But how does that even? How? What would that even look like? What would that constitute? I would say a life that worships God is someone that brings honor to God in all aspects. And it also is what someone can look to yeah, someone who worships God with everything. And how does that look? Like the Bible states that they were known by people by helping the poor, helping the widows. And then like I know there are what other people think. So it's like, well, yeah, I think of a life that worships God. Like everything you do points to God. Like your attitude, the things you do. The way you do things. All of that stuff points to God. That's what I believe lives a life. I mean, living a life that worships God. And that will look different for each person. It will look completely different for each person. Because each person has different personalities and different ways of doing things and they have different callings even, you know. About to kill myself. So how that plays out is very different for each person. What, and I think I can't in this one, in this episode, go through every possible way that, as you're listening, that your life worship, like, could worship God. You know, but I think instead of going through examples of what it could mean to worship God's life, I wanted to think about other meanings that some people come up just to try and, like, not give a balanced thing, but because I feel like I could do, and I'd have good counter arguments almost. Because let's look at I think would be the most common one, would be to live a good life. Be just to get, would like that's it. It would just be to live a good life, and I think it's majoritively right. I think it's partly right, but again, it's very different based on your what you think is good, isn't it? So if your good life is based off of what the Bible says, then I would agree with you. Then yes, living a good life is, the right thing to do. But living a good life is just living what you think is good. I would disagree with that because that's very, like, you're using yourself as the place for right and wrong, and you're taking over. You're basically doing the first sitting again. You're saying, no, I want to control what's good and what's bad, and not submitting to God's control on it. And that's something to be very careful of. Because it's it's verily easily done. Dunnily. But yeah, like I think, one thing I want to bring up is, like, something I thought was very interesting was, my wife, when she was thinking about this before, was her meaning for life was to show Jesus to Aston. And again, I would agree that that is a very good cause. I didn't even see that come out, but it still would be a little still still missing the rest of her life. We will be. Give us time. Yeah, I think the meaning of life is one of the things that is a really it's a big debating point because there's lots of different side arguments. I think it mainly hinges on whether you want to take control yourself or give it over to God. And that's a big one because, wait, uh-oh, this is bad. Oh, of course he pings me out, doesn't he? Oh, it wasn't even Chewie that got me. I feel cheated. Whatever, you got this. Stay alive, get in the area. Oh well. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think the meaning of life is. You know, even if it goes against what I'm thinking, let's get this conversation going. That's what I really want, is just to get conversation going and talking going. Yeah. So I hope you have a good rest of your day. Goodbye.